Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The Flying Solo, true solo playthrough of the Dunwich Legacy on standard difficulty. We are William Yorrick, and we have just been bamboozled and completely destroyed in the Essex County Express. Oh no, sorry, in the Miskatonic Museum. It all went terribly. We were killed by the haunting horror, we were decked out, and we took one permanent physical trauma. There it is, for the rest of the campaign. Just to catch you up, our log shows that Professor Warren Rice was kidnapped. The students were rescued. Francis Morgan, kidnapped. The O'Banion gang has a bone to pick with the investigators. I gotta say, when there's cosmic enemies from time and space free in your world, it's time, just let it go. The investigators rescued Dr. Henry Armitage, and we failed to recover the Necronomicon, of course. And let me regale you with the tale of the Essex County Express. If you're new, you can see my deck list by clicking the William Yorrick picture below the Twitch stream, or if you're on YouTube, just in the description there. We bought a copy of newspaper and a copy of Test of Will with our 3 experience points. Recent events in the museum have forced you to re-evaluate Armitage's tale about Dunwich. It cannot be a coincidence. Wilbur Whately, the Necronomicon, the creature from Dunwich, and the people and creatures who attacked here in Arkham. Everything must be connected. You're certain now where you must head. The lonely and dismal town of Dunwich Village. Sounds a bit like somewhere I grew up. You consider telling the Massachusetts State Police what you know. But the negative consequences outweigh the potential gain. Given the nature of your story, they would likely write off your stories as an absurd hoax. Worse, they could lock you up. Lock her up! After all, you were present in an illegal speakeasy, and you also trespassed in the museum. Instead, you decide to head to Dunwich yourself in order to investigate further. Imagine all of this happening in a world where alcohol is illegal. You pack everything you think you might need and manage to get some rest for the night. In the morning, you head to the train station in Northside and purchase a last-minute express ticket to the train station outside in Northside and purchase Dunwich is several hours by train northwest along the Miskatonic River Valley. Yesterday we were going along the Anduin Valley in search of Gollum and the Trolls. There's no train station in Dunwich, but you managed to phone one of Armitage's acquaintances in a small village, a man by the name of Zebulon Whately, who was present during the event several months ago. I remember both of those characters from the Dunwich Legacy story. Armitage's notes indicate that Whately family is spread across many branches, some decadent and unscrupulous, others undecayed or otherwise untouched by nefarious and diabolic rites. Okay, according to Armitage, Zebulon's branch of the family lay somewhere between the decayed and undecayed Whateleys, who knew of the traditions of his ancestors, but were not corrupted by them. He agrees to pick you up at the closest station and drive you to town. As the train departs from Arkham, you feel the events of the previous night catching up to you, and exhaustion sets in. I did fight a demon. I could use a little nap, I suppose. But before you can safely reach your destination, the train car suddenly rumbles and shakes. Startling you out of your reverie, the train loudly skids to a violent halt, and you hear a rattling noise behind you. So, we have set aside the 4 copies of Across Space and Time, and we've added a -3 tile because we're playing on standard difficulty. Right? It begins. Rolling backwards, the pull of the rift in the sky seems to grow stronger, and the entire train begins to roll backwards along the tracks. The rearmost cars of the train begin to rattle, the force of the rift threatening to detach them. You must get out of these cars as fast as you can. So this is the agenda, and it has 4 doom threshold value. Run! The train has stopped on a large bridge high above the Miskatonic River. You might be able to survive the fall, but you don't like your chances. Your best bet is to make your way to the engine car as fast as you can. If any investigator enters the engine car, immediately advance. So we start at the very rear in this train car, and we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 train cars that we can get to before we finally reach the engine car. So let's shuffle up our deck and draw our opening hand of cards before we get beat again, once again, by yet another scenario. Okay, sorry about that. We are ready to go. I guess I'll just edit that out. Oh, sorry, we're live, pal. All right, we're going to draw our opening hand. So, Gravedigger Shovel, we like. Resourceful, okay. Another Resourceful. The Trench Coat, and the Rabbit's Foot. So we're going to keep the Rabbit's Foot, the Resourceful, and the Gravedigger Shovel, and mulligan the Trench Coat and the second copy of Resourceful. The Lantern, that will help us get clues, which will be paramount in this scenario. And our card, Bury Them Deep. So after we defeat a non-elite enemy, we can add that card to the victory display. It won't be coming back. Okay. So, alright. We'll just put our hand right here for now. So we begin the game with our 5 resources and our 1 physical trauma. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we enter, we are napping in the rear car of the train. So, the car is connected to the locations to the left and right of it. You cannot enter the train car unless all of the clues on the location to its left have been discovered. So to move forward, we must get all clues. This is a 3 shroud value location with 1 clue. A parlor car. Parlor car cannot be investigated. Spend 3 resources to discover a clue in the parlor car. Well, okay, so we're going to begin our turn. We're going to use this as an action marker, piece from Mage Knight. So we have 3 actions remaining. And we are going to... So the first thing we're going to do is spend the 3 resources and take that clue. That is easy peasy. And taking this clue will allow us to move to the next train. So that's 1 action. We're going to play the Lantern, as this will give our location -1 shroud value when we investigate. And since it is paramount to grab the clues in this scenario, I suppose, we're going to need this. So we'll put that right here. And there's our charisma. Okay. So we have 1 action left, and we have no resources. So we'll hold on to these for now, and we'll move. Why not? Let's get out of here. So that parlor car has given us a victory point already. And we'll move to the next train car for our 3rd and final action. 3, 2, 1, and off. The passenger car. A passenger car. This has 3 shroud value. Not good. 2 clues to get. Not good. After you enter the passenger car, discard cards in your hand with a total of at least 2 knowledge icons, or take 2 horror. Well, we cannot afford to take too much horror, as we only have a threshold of 6, and we do not have our cherished keepsake. So, let's look to our hand. We're going to lose 2 cards. I don't know. There's 1 icon. Okay, this is a fist. These 3 have wilds. We don't have 1 card with 2 icons. We'll lose the Bury Them Deep and the Rabbit's Foot. So that's 2 wild icons, as we can use Resourceful to pull back the Rabbit's Foot if we need it. That is our 3rd and final action. So we'll go to we'll take a resource and a card, 1 and 1. Adding Fight or Flight. This is a 1 cost event that has X value, where X is going to add a horror on us, which gives us plus X health, plus X agility. I imagine we're going to be taking horror sooner or later, so we'll hold on to that for now. And we will doom the agenda. 1 out of its 4 threshold. And we will take our first Mythos card. Pushed into the Beyond. Choose and shuffle a non-story asset you control into your deck, and discard the top 3 cards of your deck. If a copy of that asset is discarded, take 2 horror. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Since we have no allies anyway, we're going to choose our copy of Charisma. My lord, is that legal? I will make it legal. Can you shuffle? Does anybody know if I lose an asset? I mean, Charisma is an asset. If I draw it again, can I just play it for free? It doesn't have a cost. I don't know, but we're going to do it anyway, because I ain't losing that Lantern. So we're going to shuffle a copy of Charisma into our deck and discard the top 3 cards of the deck. A 1, 2, 3. So we lost our newspaper, our Gravedigger shovel, and a vicious blow. But both the shovel and the newspaper we can play again with Yorrick's ability if we defeat an enemy. Okay, that's it. We go back to 3 actions. Boom. There are 2 clues on this location. At 3 shroud value, we can use our lantern to make a 2 shroud value, which will give us... Oh boy, okay. So the first thing we're going to do is try resourceful. Adding the 1 book to our knowledge value, and to try to pick up this clue at 2 shroud. We have 3 knowledge, so we're ahead of the game by 1 here. And we really need to win this, since this will let us choose any survivor card and put it back in our hand. And our graveyard is plump. -3. The new token that we just shuffled in. Not good. So we're going to try it again. Just 2 on 2. And hope for the best. +1. That's 1 clue. Then we're going to take a resource as our 3rd action. 2, 3. Well, I gotta get used to using that. So that's 3 actions. We are done. So we'll take another resource and a card. Unexpected Courage. That will help. Frodo Baggins. And we will doom the agenda, putting 2 of 4. And we will take our 2nd Mythos card. Ancient Evils. Oof. That is just going to doom the agenda again. Pow. Just like that. But luckily, it doesn't do anything much to our board state. It just steals a turn. 1 more, and a rolling backwards is completed. Alright, so we're... Dang, I wish I didn't lose that resourceful. Let's make sure we just get this clue. So we'll use Unexpected Courage +2. 4 against this card's shroud value of 2. Using our lantern, of course. A critical success. So, we may play an asset. We may return 1 card from our discard pile to our hand. And it is a successful test. And that is 1 action. So we have 2 remaining. And let's take a look. We'll take the Rabbit's Foot. And as our 2nd action, we will play the Rabbit's Foot. Now, of course, if you know the lucky Rabbit's Foot, every time we fail a skill test, we may exhaust the foot to draw a card. And our 3rd and final action will be to move, rolling along, rumbling down to the 3rd train car. Another passenger car, 2 shroud value, 2 clues. After you enter the passenger car, either discard cards to your hand with at least 2 willpower icons or take 2 horror. Well, we haven't the willpower icons, so we must take the horror. 2 of 6. Horror, it is paramount that we take no more horror damage. Okay, let's try. The lantern brings the shroud value down to 1 against our 2 investigate value. And we don't mind failing because we want to use our Rabbit's Foot to draw a card. But we've taken our 3rd action, so we must go to the Mythos phase. So we take a resource and a card. Emergency cash, okay. And we doom the agenda for the 4th doom, completing rolling backwards. Two of the train cars closest to the gate are severed from the rest of the train by a sheet of impossibly hot steam, which slices through the metal like a knife through butter. The cars are sucked upwards and fly into the gate. Something above the train lets out a terrible screech, though to your ears it's like the shrill sound of a broken steam pipe. Oh, that's Agenda 3. How foolish of me. Alright, so this was supposed to happen last turn. Please forgive me. I was playing and got to Agenda 3 yesterday and had to leave, so... Sorry, the first one did have 4 anyway, so it's exactly the same. Terran reality. So... Now we got a little bit of a spoiler up ahead, but that's okay. The rearmost car of the train detaches and is pulled backwards. To your horror, it rises off the tracks and is consumed by the gate above you. Remove the leftmost location from the game. Each investigator at that location is defeated, and any enemy or asset at that location is discarded. Discard all clues controlled by the investigators. So we lose our 3 clues. And this parlor car is sucked into space with the Wilhelm scream. Aye! We'll reset our board a little bit here, and we'll go to 3 actions, and we are in the maw widens. The terror grows larger, and you can feel the rearmost car of the train shaking as it's pulled backwards. The situation threatens to erupt into chaos as more passengers realize the danger they are in. Some passengers are looking for places to hide, while others are running about the compartments in terror. This has a 3 doom threshold, and we may begin our turn. Oh no, we must take a Mythos card. Oh gosh, a helpless passenger. So this helpless passenger spawns at the location to our left, and we can parlay to take control of him. But if he ever leaves play, we take a horror. And it's a surge into Dissonant Voices. Put a Dissonant Voices into our threat area. We cannot play assets or events at the end of the round. Discard Dissonant Voices. And that's not good. So there are 2 clues in the passenger car that we are in as we begin our turn, marking our 3 actions. We cannot play assets or events, so nothing to do here, except that we can grab these clues. So we have 2 knowledge against the shroud value 1, altered by the lantern. And we'll draw our first token, a 0. So that is a success. And we'll use our second action. I want to go back and get that helpless passenger so I don't take the horror when he dies, but I've got to discard 2 book icons, which we don't have, to get back into the car, take 2 horrors, so the helpless passenger is just going to have to settle for being totally helpless. -2, that's a fail, so we will exhaust Rabbit's Foot and draw a card. A stray cat. Our third action, we'll just play... Oh, we can't play the stray cat, so we'll just investigate again. Can't play anything because we have Dissonant Voices. -1, that's a pass. So we have both clues, and we are free to move along the train. But we must wait until the next turn. Right, we go back to 3 actions. And we'll take a resource and draw a card. And Dissonant Voices leaves our threat area, our second cat. To the discard pile it goes. And we will doom the maw widens, putting 1 of its 3 doom threshold, and face a Mythos card. Dissonant Voices again. So once again, this turn, we will not be able to play any assets or events. That's not too bad. So our first action will be to move to the next train car. This is another passenger car. 1 clue at 4 shroud value. After you enter the passenger car, discard cards from your hand with at least a total of 2 strength icons, or take 2 damage. So we'll take the damage because we don't have it. So we go to 3 health damage out of 8, and 2 horror, 2 sanity damage out of 6. And we must somehow get this clue. We have 2 knowledge against its shroud value of 3. We have nothing that matches that we can commit to it, and we have Dissonant Voices, so we cannot play any events or assets. So our second action is going to be to draw a card. Lucky, level 2. Well, that's perfect. There's only 1 clue here. Let's try to get it. So our 2 against its modified value of 3, and we have Lucky in hand. So, oh wait, we can't play events, so Lucky won't help us. Let's try it anyway. We could get a crit, and if we fail, we can use the Rabbit's Foot. So our third action is a skull. -X, where X is the current agenda number, so that's -2. We fail. We exhaust Lucky Rabbit's Foot. We draw a card. Test of Will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're holding 7 cards. End of the round, Dissonant Voices is gone. We'll ready that. We'll take a resource. We'll draw a card. A 32 Colt. We'll go to 3 actions. We'll put a Doom on the Maw Widens, and we will face a Mythos card. Rotting Remains. Test Willpower 3. For each point you fail by, take a horror. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to pay a resource and use Test of Will, exiling Test of Will from the game and canceling Rotting Remains. I know it may seem extreme, as we have 3 willpower, but we can't risk failing it because our horror threshold is bad. And we don't have our cherished keepsake, and I don't know if we're going to have to take horror damage for each of the next 2 train cars. So, anyway, we begin our player turn. Let's equip. So first we'll equip the Gravedigger Shovel for 2. Then we'll discard the Gravedigger Shovel to pick up this clue. That's done. And then we'll use Resource Cache. So that's 3, 2, 1. Our last action to use Resource Cache to gain 3 resources. And we will end our turn. Quick and painless. A 5th resource and a card. There's our cherished keepsake. That'll give us the little oompha we need to get through to the end of this. And we will Doom the Maw Widens, number 3. Advancing the agenda. The next train car is ripped backwards with violent force. A middle-aged man hangs from his fingertips as the car, this guy I guess, as the car flies unhindered towards the rift. Moments later, the car is consumed whole. Oh my god. And the man lets go rather than be pulled into the void. He starts to fall, but is caught by the rift's force and pulled inside it anyway. Remove the leftmost location from the game. Each investigator is defeated. Each enemy and asset is discarded. Discard all clues and controlled by all investigators. So we must lose our 3 clues here, which would be great if we picked up our copy of newspaper. And this helpless passenger is destroyed, which means we take a 3rd sanity damage. Our threshold, of course, only 3. But that's alright, because we are holding on to a teddy bear. A Mythos card. Mysterious Chanting. Place 2 Doom on the nearest cultist enemy. If there's no cultist, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a cultist enemy and draw it. Okay. Let's take a look. Something to fight. Monsters, abominations, ancient evils back to back. Helpless passenger. Aha, an acolyte. So we'll take an acolyte and spawn him at an empty location. We'll spawn him at the train car in front of us, and he comes into play with 1 Doom on him, which of course counts towards the Doom threshold. But we're going to go over there, whoop him, and be able to recover a card. Doom. Okay, I don't mind that at all. And now we got 5 resources, so let's take... First, let's prepare. So we'll play the Cherished Keepsake. That's in play. 0 cost, which has 2 horror. You can suck 2 horror damage up, and then we'll pay 3 resources, our second action, and we'll play our Colt 32 in our other free hand. Hey, careful, he's got a gun, is what they'll be saying. And we will move to the train. Maybe we'll move there next turn. We can kill the... We don't have charisma. Oh, we don't have an ally out. So let's pay 1 resource and play our Stray Cat, which we can discard to evade an enemy. Alright, we're done. We are done. So that's it. We finish the turn. We take a resource. We take a card. Machete. Woo! When it rains weapons, it pours machetes. We put 1 Doom on the threshold, and we draw a Mythos card. Broken Rails. Each investigator loses 1 action. If you have 4 or more damage, you must also discard an asset. We have 3, so we're lucky to discard. We don't have to discard one of our assets. We have 2 actions only this turn, so our first action will be to move to the next train car, engaging the Acolyte. Where are we? The dining car. After you reveal the dining car, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a grappling horror and draw it. So we've got 2 enemies engaged with us now. And of course our Colt 45 has a 6. Count them. 6 shots. A grappling horror. There it is. So, that has 3 fight, 2 agility, and 3 health. And he's a hunter, and while you're engaged with him, you cannot move. So, he's not a pleasant enemy. But the first thing that we're going to do... that was the second thing we did. So the last thing we're going to do is try and get one of these enemies out of here. So... we'll fight the Acolyte. As we can kill him in 1 shot. So we'll fire... we no need to fire the Colt. We'll just fight him. With our... So we have 4 fight against his 3 fight value. And we can use Lucky if we need to. 4 against 3. A critical hit! My gosh! Pow! He's gone. We beat him to death with our... We just punch him into the wall, throw him off the side. No ticket. Alright. That's the end of our turn. So in the enemy phase, we must take 1 damage, 1 horror from the grappling horror. 1 damage and 1 horror. We'll put the horror on the cherished keepsake and the damage on us. Oh, and as we critical hitted, we can play a card, add a card from discard pile to our hand. And that is going to be the... Well, that's going to be resourceful. Yes, resourceful. And when we defeat the Acolyte, we can play a asset from our discard pile without provoking an attack of opportunity, and that is going to be our... Oh no, we have our hand slots full, do we? So we have Gravedigger Shovel. The only thing we can play is the newspaper, but we'll have to lose the lantern. So we will do. No, we won't. We'll discard the lantern. No, that takes an action. I guess we just won't take anything for now. Let's get rid of these monsters. After we get rid of this monster, we can think about what else we want to take. Alright? So, at the end of the turn, we'll take a resource and a card after we get hit by the grappling horror. Fight or flight again. And now we will put a second of 4 Doom on rolling backwards and draw a card. Wait, we did that already. Draw this card. Oh man, an Acolyte again. So he engages right there with us, and he's got a Doom on him. Pow. Okay, that's 3 Doom, so we absolutely have to kill him. We're getting stuck in the dining car. This is just like that ghost train in Final Fantasy, and all the enemies are in the dining car. So what we're going to do is discard... Okay, it's our turn. So 3 actions. Let's think. We'll discard the lantern to deal a damage to the Acolyte and kill him. And that will finish that Doom off, and we defeated an enemy. So we will pay a resource and play a newspaper, as we have no clues. This place has no clues, so we can just move to the train car. Alright, no, anyway, we got to finish the grappling horror now. So let's... We will fire the Colt. That'll deal 2 to him. We have 2 actions left. You know what? As a fast action, forget about this guy. As a fast action, we'll discard the cat and evade him. And we have 2 actions left still. So we'll move to the second to last train car. Passenger car, 3 clues and 1 shroud. This is connected to the car to the left and right. After you enter passenger car, you must either discard cards from your hand with a total of these 2 agility icons or take 2 damage. Well, I don't mind taking the... Well, we're getting up there. Let's see what we've got. We can discard the cat and resourceful, so we will. We'll lose the cat, we'll lose resourceful. That's 2. We don't take the damage. We have 1 action left. There's 3 clues here, and we'll use our first action to our last action to use the newspaper, so we get +2 knowledge while investigating if we have no clues, which we don't. And if we would discover 1 clue, when we have no clues, we discover an additional clue. So this is a 4 at 1 shroud value for 2 clues, -1, so we do pick up the 2 clues. And our turn is done, so we go to the enemy turn, where the grappling horror readies and hunts and engages with us again, but will not do any damage. So we'll take a resource and a card. Our copy of Resourceful again, that is going to be very useful. And now we doom the agenda, 3 of 4 on rolling backwards. What could happen after that? And we'll draw a Mythos card. Oh my, another monster. Another grappling horror as well. So while we're engaged with this, we can't move. They have 6 total health between them. My gosh. Let's start shooting. We're running out of time. So here we go. Our first action of 3 is going to just be to fire our Colt at the grappling horror. Our 4 fight against his 3. So we're up by 1, but we're going to discard Resourceful to go 5 against 3. And that'll allow us to bring a survivor card back to our hand from our discard pile. So 5 against 3. A critical fail. Jeez Louise. Can't get worse than that. So our Resourceful is wasted, but we will exhaust Rabbit's Foot to draw a card. Okay, and we'll fire again. Shot number 2. This is just 4 against 3. We'll discard the Machete to go 5 against 3 again. No, we will pay 1 resource and play our fast action Fight or Flight, and this gives us +X attack, where X is our sanity damage. And we have 3, so it is 7 against 3, -1. So that's 2 damage on him. Bing, bing, and we'll do 1 more shot with the Colt. No need to use the Colt, as we only need to damage him once. But we'll use Fight or Flight again. Our third action, our third shot. 7 against 3 again. -2 is a kill. That grappling horror is dead. But we must enter the enemy phase. So oh wait, oh no, that grappling horror is dead, which means we can play an asset from our discard pile, but I didn't leave myself any resources, so. My combo to bring out the stray cat and use him is wasted. Alright, so the enemy phase, this grappling horror hits us for 1 health, so 1 damage there, so that's 5 of 8, and 1 sanity, which we'll put on the cherished keepsake and discard, protecting ourselves. We put the 4th doom on rolling backwards. Oh boy, this is nerve-wracking. 2 of the train cars closest to the gate are severed from the rest of the train by a sheet of impossibly hot steam, which slices through the metal like a knife through butter. It must be Ginsu's. The cars are sucked upwards and fly into the gate. Something above the train lets out a terrible screech. Though your ears, it feels like a shrill sound of a broken steam pipe. Remove each of the two leftmost locations from the game. Pah! These 2 are gone. And our train is down to 3 cars and going off the rails. And Ozzy sing something about that. Each investigator there is discarded. Okay, defeated. Our clues are gone, which actually helps us. It's going to help us pick up that last clue. But we are on Agenda 4, drawn in, 3 doom threshold. And once again, we draw a Mythos card, Frozen in Fear. Put this into your threat area. First time you perform a move, a fight, or evade, it costs an additional action. And then we can test our willpower to discard Frozen in Fear. Now we didn't take our resource or our card this turn. Lucky again. Okay. Well, we'll just kill him. We'll have to kill him. We've got a couple of turns, so we have to kill him. We'll fire the Colt. We've got 2 luckies. So this is 4 against 3. We'll discard the leather coat and go 5 against 3. -2, good call. 2 damage. And our second fight action, we will just fight him straight up, 4 against 3, relying on lucky. So that first fight took 2 actions. And now, 4 against 3. -1, it's a defeat. We kill him. Woof. He's gone. That's all of our whole turn. Yet, for our ability, we can play a resource from the resource pile. We're going to play out a cherished keepsake again to make sure that we do not die of sanity overload. And we take a resource and a card. Unexpected courage. I think that this could be the end. 1 doom undrawn in. Oh my god, why? Emergent monstrosity. Spawn to the location of the right. To location to your right. This enters play exhausted. My god. Well, he's there. He's worth a victory point if we can kill him. So we're going to start our turn. The first thing that we're going to do is use the newspaper to get these clues. So 4 against the shroud value of 1. Ready up, rabbit's foot. -1, we get the last clue, and we'll move. He's exhausted, so let's take a shot at him, if we can. Move to the engine car. The engine car is connected to the left of it. Okay, yep. 2 shroud value. 2 clues, sorry. 4 shroud value. 1 victory point. And we advance the act. The investigators entering the engine car reads, a tender car filled with the coal blocks your way to the engine cab. Tender car. A tender car. Swallowing your fear, you climb out the nearby window and clamber onto the roof of the train, making your way across the tender car. Steady backwards motion of the train makes it difficult for you to keep your footing. Really. As you get close, a winged creature swoops down from above, its body composed of piping hot steam. You must decide to test. We'll test our strength to attempt to endure the creature's extreme heat. If you fail, the creature flies through you and you suffer a physical trauma. Oh my god. So our 4 strength against the 3 test of this card. Whoa. The steam monster. -3. We'll use a resource and play lucky level 2 to give us +2 to pass the test and not take a physical trauma. My gosh. So that's finished, and we draw a card. Take the initiative. Beautiful. All right. So, get the engine running. You've managed to make it to the engine cab, but now you have to get the engine started again, so you can outrun the pulling force of the gate. If there are no clues in the engine car, immediately advance. So we need to only pick up these 2 clues, which is not going to be easy. We have 1 clue, so we can't use the newspaper. We used our lucky there. We got a couple. Okay, let's deal with one thing at a time. Can we kill this guy? I think we got time. Well, he's exhausted. We're going to blast him with the Colt for 2 damage. 4 against 4. No. Let's just get out of here. He hits so hard. Let's just get the clues. Unexpected courage. That'll only be 4 against 4. Boy, this ain't gonna be easy. We're gonna fight this guy. Now we're gonna get the clues. I don't know what to do. We'll fight. Four against 4. Let's do it. It's a fight. I want that victory point. -1. Fail. Exhaust the rabbit's foot. Draw a card. Take the initiative again. Excellent. Okay. So at the end of our turn, he readies into our threat area. We take a resource and a card. It's our charisma again. I don't know how that works. I'm going to look that up as soon as I finish this run, that's for sure. Okay, so our charisma's back in play. We don't have any allies. All our allies are dead. Alright, so we're in the engine car here. We'll put a Doom on the threshold, and we'll draw a card. It's not an enemy, at least. Test willpower 3. If you fail, take 2 damage and cannot move this round. Well, that's okay. So we'll just do it. We'll test our willpower 3. I don't want to take the 2 damage, but not being able to move isn't really a big deal. -2, so we take 2 damage. 3, 4, 5. Oh my god, now we're at 7 of 8. Oh boy. I don't know what... We just got to get the clues and get out of here. We just got to get the clues and that's it. Maybe when that drawn in comes... So the first thing we're going to do is just take the initiative and evade this guy. So, well, this is the first action. It gives us +3. So we'll just evade him while we can. So, boy, I don't know. Let's fight him. So +3, we're going to fire on him with the Colt. So this is a 7 against 4. Skull. -X, where X is the agenda number. We're on agenda 4, so it's a fail. Oh my god. So we're going to use Lucky to pass. I don't know if this is smart or not, but I'm tired of this guy, and we're going to shoot him. I take the initiative for 2 this time, 6 against 4, using the Colt again. -2, that's a hit for 2 damage. Boy, oh boy, if we fail this, we're dead. I don't know what I've gotten myself into here. But we couldn't get the clues. It's too difficult to get the clues. 4 shroud value. We need to be able to take something out of the discard pile. I wish I had my cat, that's for sure. Here it is. Unexpected courage. 6 against 4. No Colt. -3. We're dead. We take 2 damage, and that finishes us. We're dead in the train car. So, let's read this first. Your experience beyond this gate is simultaneously terrifying and impossible to recall with clarity. A hypnotic spectacle of lights, otherworldly sensations, and altered geometry dances at the tattered edges of your mind. An unearthly voice from beyond rings in your ears, its significance an enigma. When you awaken, you find yourself in the woods, several miles from the Miskatonic River. Destroyed train cars surround you. They are crumpled, as if from a severe impact. They are also decayed, as if years of rust and squalor have claimed them. There is no sign of the other passengers. Rattled, you begin to walk alongside the train tracks, making your way towards Dunwich. I gotta walk the rest of the way? We were defeated, so we must add the across space and time weakness to our deck. Which is, discard the top 3 cards of your deck when drawn. That's actually not bad for us, but we do take a second physical trauma. Finish scenario. Wait, what's in the victory display? So we didn't get the train car. We didn't kill that monster who would have been worth a point. But we've got... So 0, 0, helpless passenger. So we've got the parlor car. So 1 experience point is all we'll earn for this scenario. 1 in the victory display. And we've finished the scenario. So join again tomorrow as we go to Blood on the Altar. Thank you for joining, and I will be back in about 15 minutes continuing my Lord of the Rings playthrough. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Learn to understand